And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. Our scene today is set in the parking area behind Cammie's Harlem loft on a night that's actually pretty nice out. It's not too hot, not too cold, just right. And Cammie is bringing down a six-pack of hard ciders to the side of a rusted-out hunk of junk set up on cinder blocks, and a Winnebago that I'm sure by now has Christmas lights strung out from it.
Hey, of course it does. I keep things classy.
So Cammie will walk up to the Winnebago, sort of move the 70s style lawn chairs aside, and then just sort of,
Come in.
And she will open the door.
Bailey's inside, just kind of reading over a list of side effects that she was given earlier, and like trying to use the internet, the very limited internet available on a non-touch screen phone to look up what the fuck some of these words mean.
Oh, I need to roll rage for Cammie.
Why? Because of her crappy phone?
Yes.
Yes. Bailey was told earlier, you should get a better phone. She's like, yeah, okay. She's poor.
Well, Cammie will walk up, and she just kind of reaches down with two fingers, like, you know, when you're going to touch something that you find completely and utterly disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
She very slowly goes to take the top of the antenna on her flip phone, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
Should try and tug it away.
Bailey looks up, but what are you doing?
She's just going to keep tugging as she reaches into her satchel and produces out a smartphone. Just hands it to Bailey.
She looks at the smartphone. Well, can I at least get some numbers off there? I found this gorgeous man, and I would be really upset if I lost his number.
I'll take care of it. And she is just going to set the phone down far away from the two of them.
Oh, her phone has cooties. So what can I help you with, boss?
That's never not going to sound crazy to me. So you found something out today. Something that's pretty topical in nature.
The meds. This shit. And she has a list of side effects, which includes compromised immune system and stomach pain, as well as like diarrhea on the list of side effects for this drug.
This seems almost worse than a migraine. Jesus.
Yeah. You should have seen the kid we were dealing with.
The kid you were dealing with. Is this like the whole somebody's dying thing that Nimi was talking about earlier?
Yeah. Sounds about right. I don't know what Nimi gets up to 24/7, but...
So you weren't there earlier today when the thing was happening?
Oh, I was there. I'm just saying, I don't know if she met other dying people and texted you at that point. I don't keep tabs on Nimi. But yeah, we were both there at the same time. There's like a bloody nose and just, some fucked up janky business going on with the scar. It was mean, the girl was cute, but then I saw the scar and it's like, you know, something's brewing in there that you just don't want to mess around with.
Mimi, or god damn, Cammie will find a seat to sort of lounge across, like the two couchy seats in a Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
She'll prop her feet up on to the other side, and she'll sort of nod at Bailey's assessment.
Anyway, she says she only takes one pill, and this is it. And she'll point to like the information on the sheet. If you look at the company who makes it, it just so happens to be the same one you were texting about.
Just gonna look at it.
It's a small world, boss woman. Small fucking world.
I don't suppose that she gave you any of these pills, did she?
As a matter of fact, and she'll kind of like reach underneath like the you know how Winnebagos have like that crappy built-in table. She'll have like her purse underneath that, and she slides it out and pulls out like some pills. I figured maybe you know a guy who knows a guy or something.
Cammie's just gonna kind of tap the table, just like she's gonna look at you. Put them down there.
She puts them down.
She'll stare at these pills. I don't suppose you know the ability to sense worm, do you?
No. Unfortunately. Well, I'm sure I'll get around to it eventually, though.
Mind if I take one of these? That way I can study it.
You mean take and look at, not take and swallow, right?
No, definitely not.
Then take them all, because I have no use for them.
Okay.
Me acting as the medic is only slightly worse than me acting as the Philodox.
Well, you seem to have been doing a good job thus far. I don't think any of us have broken the litany yet.
Who'd know?
You, I suppose? I hope?
She just kind of gives that like non-committal shrug, like maybe. Usually I can gauge if something is going askew if people start getting growly at me.
Well, it's a pretty consistent barometer among our people.
Yeah, well. What you gonna do about it, really?
And she'll reach down into her satchel and she'll pull out what looks to be like a empty, or not an empty pill bottle, but a pill bottle.
Mm-hmm.
She'll open it up and pour it out. Inside are some nuggets of the stickiest of the icky. She's got some of that jazz cabbage.
Jazz cabbage.
Yep. She's definitely rocking the devil's lettuce tonight.
The only weed lingo I know is Reggie. Because I am not hip.
Neither am I. I just watch a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Oh, okay. But, jazz cabbage.
She'll slide it into, or slide the pills into the pill bottle, close it up. She seems to make sure that she doesn't touch it with her bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
Good chance that these pills are worm tainted.
I'd say that is a fairly safe bet, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. It would definitely be a way for them to fuck with us.
Yeah. That's why I was a little suspicious. I mean, we're the only ones having problems changing in this area. One of our cats is the one taking these pills from these folks who want to cure us of our wolfiness. I don't know. Too many coincidences.
Curious from our wolfiness. This is new.
Yeah, well, it's what what was her name? Artemis? No, not Artemis Fowl. That's the guy who wrote the series of unfortunate. Wait, is that him? No, that's Lemony Snicket. I feel like I'm getting off track here. What's her face with the ugly scar? She was talking about it.
Oh, the what was it? What's her name? The Black Fury lady, I think.
Yeah.
Huh.
She apparently she and some cubs went to this fuck if I know and discovered that they were trying to that whole Yago, whatever the fuck it's called. That place. They're trying to cure people of their wolfiness.
Assholes.
Yeah.
So Decca trying to cure us of our wolf nature.
Like I said, I've got these pills from an Utena kinfolk. I didn't want to offend her in front of Nemi or anything like that, but that woman is either crazy out of the loop or disgustingly in. And until I know which, I wasn't going to tell her anything specific about the situation.
Well, what worries me the most is that given that the Sept dealt with a Skinner not too long ago, from all accounts, having a kinfolk spying on us isn't that far fetched.
Kinfolk, human, fucking Garu. What you are doesn't prevent you from potentially being an asshole, you know?
Yeah, but it gets to be somewhat dangerous when those assholish tendencies tend to be in direct service to the worm.
Fucking truth. Bailey points to the cider. Did you bring those for decoration, or you want me to pop them open?
Well, I figured if you hung them from your ceiling here and put a little backlight to them, they would disperse this lovely golden tinge all around.
Yeah, keeping it real classy. She says, grabs two of the bottles and like pops them on the end of the table.
She'll raise a brow at that because that's a skill that she or the player hasn't in life. It's always fairly impressive. And she'll just sort of hide the bottle opener on her keychain like it's not there.
Bailey wouldn't judge. She's just kind of too cheap to buy one of her own.
I mean, at least she didn't try and open it with her teeth, right?
Yeah. So she'll slide one of the open bottles in front of Cammie.
Cammie will grab it and take a nice little swig out of it. Mm-hmm. So, you and I have traveled from here to Africa and back again.
Yes, quite the accelerated bonding experience there.
Yes. But it seems that like you and I still don't know each other all that much.
All right. I'm up for 20 questions. What do you want to know? And I'll throw some questions back at you.
Okay. Did you choose to be a bonar, or was it the life that you were born into?
It's not like the fucking we're gonna come for me. She says, kind of chuckling. Nah, I was brought up in a shithole, mentored in a shithole. it, it was pretty much, I guess, my destiny to be a bonar.
So which shithole did you come from?
Jersey. Just I don't actually have a city specifically picked for her, so she will list some place that I will
If she
fucking.
says Jersey, Cammie immediately just reaches into her bag and tosses a bottle of hand sanitizer over to Bailey.
It's not like I rolled in the dirt before you came over here. That's a little bit of a drive. And the Winnebago gets like a mile to the gallon.
How is it that you, the gearhead, cannot fix that gas mileage?
I don't really like taking it around a lot of places. Beautiful thing about New York is even though the metropolitan transit system, whatever, is slow as fuck, it is abundant. So if I'm going to fix up a car, it's not going to be the one that has all my furniture in it.
Fair point.
So where are you from?
Toronto, originally.
Chile.
Not too much worse than here.
So do you still break into O Canada when asked to sing the national anthem?
You mean the anthem of peace and pride as opposed to the war march of your country? Yes.
I've heard Rush's cover of the song. Not gonna belittle Geddy Lee. Let's see. Did you pick to be a glasswalker?
Um, yes and no. I was raised only one way, so there was really only one logical way for me to go when I was ready for my rite of passage. Um, Needless to say, I was brought from traumatic first change into a glasswalker sept and taught the ropes there.
Hmm. You want to talk first change?
She's gonna grab a second bottle as she finishes the first one, and then pops the thing off and takes another half of the second bottle down.
Is that a no?
Just preparing myself and get where I need to be to talk about this a little bit more freely. So while I'm doing that, why don't you share?
Let's see. A little bit of my backstory. You know, the typical American dream. Uh, Mom and dad have a baby, dad disappears, mom works herself into an early grave, baby grows up, fucks around. Those gets a little rough one night, and after kicking a few of my molars out, and she like pulls down her cheek to show like she has like a missing tooth in the back. I just kind of started laughing. My turn. And then everything went red. And from what I hear, I beat him into a fine mist, into the ground. Quite the feat, because when I started punching him, we were in my trailer.
Cammie's gonna like look around, eyes going a bit wide. Not this one, I'm guessing.
No, this was from my house, so I would stop sleeping on top of things. He found it a little unsettling.
So the guy that you turned into pulp, mom's boyfriend or dad?
Uh, no, my boyfriend. Mom was dead. Is dead. Death is kind of permanent.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. Slim pickings in a trailer park sometimes.
Mm. She sits back with a far more thoughtful look on her face. So did your own people pick you up after that, or?
Yeah, Dad came back into the picture with my aunt, and they took me to the junkyard where I was raised up proper. She says, and takes a long sip of her cider.
And Cammie will reach over to one of the nuggets and pull out a pipe, and she'll light it up, take a long puff, puff, and then pass it over towards Bailey.
Bailey will take a drag and like hold it in, and give it a little cough a bit, and hand it back. All right, I showed you mine. Why don't you show me yours?
Well, she'll sort of shrug out of her sweatshirt and lift up her shirt and turn around, and peppered across her back are about 5 scars.
Mm-hmm.
Look like bullet holes.
Fucking hell.
14 years old when I got these bad boys.
Jesus.
I was into computers way before I even knew about cockroach, glasswalkers, Garu. My parents were unknowing kin.
Mm.
And dad was a systems analyst, and that was I really clung to my dad growing up. And so everything that he enjoyed, I really enjoyed too. And this was a way for us to bond, and so I really got into computers. And when I learned that I had a bit of a talent for it, I quickly fell into a group at school that was very much like-minded and used those talents for less than legal things.
Hmm.
You know, changing grades here, raiding an ATM there. Nothing that would put us on the most wanted list, but things
Taking
that
advantage of the skills you got.
exactly. And it was all for self-enjoyment and self-gain, and you know, ATM machine, no one's really out because whoever owns it's insured for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, we put that money back into our economy almost as quickly as we took it. the never-ending circle.
Philanthropy at its finest.
Hmm. I guess in a sense, yes. But I got so into it that I thought I was hot shit. And do you know that we've had laws in the international community about what happens when you do cybercrime across country lines?
I I can pretend I've heard about that if it'll make you feel better.
Do you know what Interpol is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, they came crashing through the door one night, and I tried to steal documents from a defense contractor. Not for anything in particular. I wasn't looking to, buy and sell secrets in the black market. I did it because someone told me that I couldn't.
Hmm.
And they raided the house, and I jumped out my back window, started to run across the backyard, trying to get to the storm drain behind our house, and two guys in full gear tackled me.
They tackled a 14-year-old girl.
Yep.
Dicks.
And well, you know what happens when someone who has the blood that we have gets triggered.
Fine red mist.
Um, no, no. Uh, some of them were dead, but not all of them. I've mentioned it to you, I think, before that I don't incite the delirium.
I don't know if you've mentioned to me before. I don't. I don't know.
Well, when I go big and fuzzy, people don't drop to the ground or run away in terror,
Hmm.
in that chaotic terror that they might for you or Nimi or for fires. So I got shot a lot. And yeah, I was dying.
Jesus.
And then that's when my people showed up. The parents couldn't handle what was going on. They panicked, and, well, long story short, my relatives did what they had to do. I woke up a few days later, and she'll take a long drink out of the bottle before pulling it down. Little orphan Cammie.
They took out your parents?
Unfortunately, yeah.
What a bunch of assholes. I'm sorry. How lovely and considerate of them. Jesus.
I think in the chaos of everything that was happening, things went bad. At least that's what they tell me.
Yeah, I bet that's what they tell you.
My tribe is not filled with saints.
I don't think any of us can claim that our tribes are filled with saints, but at the same time, fucking hell. She like lifts the bottle up high to take a pretty big drink after that.
And, well, the rest is history. After my rite of passage, I ended up here. On deployment in one of the biggest battlegrounds in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Isolated, alone, aggravated by my own people and my own kind.
And hanging out with just so many ragabash.
Well, you guys came later.
You seem to be coming into your own, all right, though.
It's amazing what a confidence booster you have when you realize that people actually enjoy your company. And you don't think everyone's plotting behind your back.
Yeah. I mean, I guess thinking that way could get pretty exhausting sometimes.
Well, doubly so for me. She'll lean forward and pick up the pipe again and take another long hit off of it before handing it over towards Bailey.
She'll take a hit, but not as long. She doesn't choke up on the regular and doesn't want to be um, knocked off her feet.
My problems go beyond like just sort of a social stigma. Unfortunately, I get pretty easily bummed out. And then I come back stronger than ever and completely crazy bonkers.
Rough.
Yep. And none of the medicines they make for bipolar disorder really work on Agaru, so
Yeah, well, the medicines that do seem to work on us seem to be working against us, she says, and it indicates to the fucking pills that they've been dealing with.
yeah. And you know what the worst thing about it is?
Mm, besides the crippling depression, what?
I have to go tell that old coot of a child of Gaia back from my home sept at some point that she was right.
That she was right
Mm-hmm.
about what?
Family is the cure for what ails me.
Well, there's worse things to be to have to concede on, I suppose.
True.
So, how do you like the city?
Eh.
Good answer, she says, and like raises her bottle.
Cammie will return the gesture. This place is amazing, annoying, frustrating, terrifying, and everything in between.
It's got some real pretty people, though, doesn't it?
Cammie actually takes a minute to think about that one. And if we want to get a dice roll in there, if Bailey would like to roll her perception empathy.
Sure. Let me see what my non-Puka character has for her perception empathy, real quick. Do 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 do. 2 successes.
Um, she definitely agrees. And probably from the look in her eye, it's something fairly recent.
So you found someone who wets your whistle?
And that's when Cammie puts a good bit of cider through her nose.
No shame, no shame. It's natural. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it, she says, and laughs at her own terrible song choices and finishes off her cider.
So, who's who's on your list of things to do? I mean,
Oh my gosh. So, you know, I work at the scrapyard, right?
mm-hmm.
Here I am about to just like pull off the casings of this like shitty 1990s era Dodge Neon. I mean, there's no saving this car. I mean, I could get it running again. I will get it running again. But that's further down along the line. So I'm about to pull off the fucking polymer casing of this piece of garbage. And the trunk was fucking busted. So it sends me sprawling on my ass when I take my crowbar to it. And I swear, out of like nowhere, girl, I thought I was dead. He was so pretty. Just breathtaking. Uh, Holy crap. Magazines couldn't hold a guy this beautiful. And I don't know, he was telling me some shit about like the car belonged to his friend. I'm gonna help him fix it up. Um,
Kinfolk?
I don't think so. He didn't seem I don't know, he was weird though. He was real weird around the crowbar. I mean, our kind can kind of get used to people being afraid of us. Like there's always that sort of like unease, you know? But he didn't really seem that uncomfortable with me. He was chatting me up at the museum all night. But man, he acted like my crowbar was radioactive or something.
This guy got a name?
Hmm. Yeah, Charles. He's a criminal psychologist over in, well, I guess
Wait,
here.
that asshole?
Asshole?
Sorry. That guy.
How do you know him?
Um, so when I met this person, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm seeing. He was there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you think he's an asshole?
It's just a generalized response I have.
Oh, I don't know. He seems polite, a little stuffy, but
Stuffy is a good word.
I don't know. He has these moments, though. I went to this, I ran into him at a museum recently. All sorts of just wacky shit, like boards sticking out of the ground. And a performance artist that just pissed me off. She says, and just kind of like does like the clench of her fist. Motherfuckers. Um, he just recited this entire poem by Pablo Neruda. So damn beautiful. Just the sentiment, you know? He's got, I mean, I've seen Steffi. There's a being a bone now, you get used to everybody kind of looking down their nose at you a bit. But the way he was reciting this poem, it just it was like watching the gods speak, I think.
You've got it real bad.
He's real pretty.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Different strokes for different folks. I like to stroke pretty much anything, but he is pretty distracting at the moment.
Well, I suppose as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
I don't think he's going to be looking back in my direction the same way if in any version of reality that exists. She says with like a self-depreciating laugh, but still, I can admire the view.
Cammie's going to lean forward and she's going to point directly at Bailey. Now, you listen here. If I can, even for a night, find someone, there is absolutely no reason why you can't.
Oh, no. It's not like a challenge to find somebody. I mean, as long as you're not like, as long as you're willing to fuck men, there's always somebody who's willing to fuck you back.
Well,
but it's cool being around somebody that is both aesthetically pleasing and mentally stimulating, she says, and reaches for another cider and bangs it on the table to open it.
Cammie's trying her best to stay in this conversation. Well, that's good. It's good that you have broad horizons.
I look at it as a more of a beggars can't be choosers, she says, laughing again.
I don't know. I did pretty fine for better part of almost 10 years.
So tell me about this girl person you're seeing.
Girl. And I wouldn't say we're seeing each other yet. I like her company. And she was willing to go at a speed that I was comfortable with, which I've not found in people that are interested in me or vice versa. I don't like touching people. So it was refreshing, extremely refreshing.
You like touching her, right?
For the most part. I'm still warming up to it completely, but yeah. I kind of forced myself to be there. And it wasn't bad. Still don't feel completely comfortable in my own skin, but...
But do you feel comfortable in hers? She takes a big drink.
Cammie doesn't know how to process. There's clearly a blue screen that has gone on in her expression.
Bailey gives like a little like friendly snap in front of her. Hello.
Huh? What?
Nothing. It's nothing. She just kind of chuckles.
Have you ever met a woman named MJ?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I think she's a friend of Charles's.
Maybe we should double date.
Well, between the two of us, we have the rage of a galliard.
Sweet.
Got to
You
get you
should.
up to fostering, though, so we can both learn that gift.
Which one is that?
The one that sort of reduces how much rage we give off.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I should get off my ass and work on it, but I think I'd prefer to be able to change without all the rigmarole.
Maybe we just need to get you angrier.
So much anger in this world.
No, I'm serious. It sometimes helps.
Yeah, you just go ahead and strap the shock collars back on me right before. It should be great.
Cammie reaches down into
Please
her
don't.
bag and pulls out a stun gun. She presses the button and there's that crackle.
Bailey just gives her a squint. Not right now, Cammie. I'm good.
Okay. And she'll just set it on the table. You can keep that, by the way, just in case you ever need it for a little self-motivation. It won't put you out, but it hurts like hell.
Self-motivated.
Listen, you're not the only one that has a deficiency of rage when it comes to fighting alongside, like, the full moons.
Oh, God. A girl who was injured is a fucking Arun, and Jesus. Telling her to lay down. She was she told me she was gonna try and kick me. It, kid's injured. Bleeding out of her face holes. I tell her to lay down, and she takes offense. Like, are you ragbashing me? Ridiculous.
So next time what you do, you take out a pistol, and you put it to her kneecap, and you pull the trigger.
Oh, no, no. It would have been terrible. She wasn't healing.
I mean, a kneecap isn't all that irreplaceable.
It would have been for this kid. You had to see her. It was a fucking wreck. Apparently, that scar that was opening up was from her fucking rite of passage.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Have I not given you guys Gaia's breaths?
I don't have shit.
Cammie suddenly feels really, really bad. Let's see. Yeah, she'll pull out of her bag and hand Bailey 2 Gaia's breaths.
Oh. Thanks. She says, and she puts them off to the side because, like, she doesn't have a use for them at the moment, but they will come in handy in the near future, she's sure.
All right, I've got a real kicker of a question.
Fire away.
Why did you decide to join up with me almost immediately?
A lot of fun. And you don't seem to overthink the things that need to be done. And I can appreciate that. There's the hemming and hawing. Oh, this is beneath me. Or, oh, this is a task I shouldn't have to do. But you just seem to just dive head into anything. Shit needs to get done. the end of the day, the trash needs to be taken out, and sitting there, wondering if it's a task below your status is just a fucking waste of time. You seem to have the same sort of attitude, and I can appreciate that.
Is that why you backed the idea of me being your all's leader?
Fuck yes. Willing to dive head into things. You start up a pack. I can appreciate initiative. I have a hard time focusing sometimes. So having somebody say, "Hey, we're gonna go do this thing," it means that I'm still adding to the effort. I'm not doing anybody any good if I'm off chasing butterflies and shit.
You like butterflies?
And not particularly.
And why would you chase them?
I don't know. That's the thing distracted things do. They chase shit.
Cammie just gets a big smirk on her face at that point.
Oh, Lord. She takes another long drink of her cider.
Be honest, a lot of this shit scares me silly. Being in
Well,
charge of people.
that's good. It means you're going to try real hard not to fuck up.
Well, given my track record at times, still terrified.
Well, don't worry. You're in good company. So what made you decide to ask me to join you?
Just sit back and she'll think about it. Well, aside from the fact that you were infinitely less stuffy than, say, the other packs that were established on the set. You seem to just have a genuine quality about you. I didn't feel like there was anything underhanded. No agenda, like you said. But more importantly, just earnest, open. And considering the looks and the treatment that I got from people when I first got here, I wasn't about to let you get caught up in the politics if I could help it at all. So I was like, here, come join us if you want to. And you said, sure, which made my life a lot easier. Certainly made the trip to Africa a lot more fun.
Certainly, especially since you didn't stuff me in a fucking box.
She just starts chuckling to herself. I wouldn't have actually stuffed you in a box. I would have gotten in there with you.
Oh, good. An even smaller box. I'm sure it would have gone very well for both of us. She just shakes her head. Me and small places aren't friends. Anything smaller than this, and like she indicates the Winnebago, and if like it does have like the standard like furniture in it, but like so much of like anything that would have been like extra beyond like the seat, a table, and like a bed has been like gutted. So like there's no curtains in this thing because like the little things just make it seem even smaller. So it's like the windows are pretty much open besides like the little blinds. Uh, it's Like, it's sparse looking. The cabinets have been removed, that sort of thing. Yeah, anything smaller than this, and I start getting a little itchy. Get a lot smaller, and I start getting a little tense.
Cammie nods. She takes it all sort of in. Well, if you ever get into a situation where we have to be in a small enclosed space, if you want to dig your nails into the side of my arm, I'm okay with that.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Maybe we could just go the BA Baracus route and you guys just knock me out if that's going to be the case, though.
Well, we would have to drug you with a massive amount of sedatives or literally knock you out. And outside of fires, I'm not equipped to do that, and I don't think Mimi is either.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to avoid boxes. Or invest in straitjackets.
And then she looks over at the stun gun sitting on the table again.
Bailey just kind of slides it away from her. And like slides it to the corner where like the Gaia's breath is. Just, no. No shock collars either.
Like, it was just a prototype. The new one's going to have a little bit more of an open, less restrictive feel to it.
Still gonna shock you?
Yes.
Ah. Great. She says, kind of like a. So you fire guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go anywhere to practice that, or is it just like you just shoot it so often you're good at it? What's your deal?
Well, being Canadian, me and guns just should seem like oil and water, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my tribe is pretty big into them. They make fetishes out of them.
Gross.
Gross.
She's obviously just giving you shit.
All the people I took to be traditional in this set.
Yeah, that's me. Philodox Bailey Thrashcan Dean.
Ragadox.
Ragadox.
Philobash.
Ugh. No.
I don't know. I just I got used to using them here. And the carbine and the long range rifle I actually picked up as the spoils of war. Cleansed them and fine-tuned them, and now I don't go anywhere without them. I'm up to 4 guns now. Just realized that. Wow.
You want to teach me how to use one? I mean, I got a little bit of practice while we were in Africa, but I think it might be nice to learn how to use things that go boom.
Well, considering your deed name is more DACA.
What?
She'll fish into her bag and produce a handgun and hand it over by grabbing the barrel and holding the handle out to Bailey.
God, it's like my birthday or something. She says. I mean, I'm not gonna fire it in here or anything. She says.
Well, rule number 1: treat it like it's loaded at all times.
Question: is this loaded?
Lesson 2: how to check to see if it's loaded. And she'll show the mag release and how to work the slide.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it was very much loaded with a round in the chamber.
Jeez Louise. my previous character would have shot a brick at this transaction. She like double checks the safety. Make sure that shit's on.
What kind of safety? That's a fucking Glock that she's holding. There's no safety on that.
God damn, why? Why would you give that to Bailey of all people? Bailey one firearmstein.
So be careful with this one because it'll go off for like no reason at all.
Oh, a great starter weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Listen, you'll either learn or you'll shoot your toe off. One or the other.
Oh, well, I'm sure it'll grow back, she says with a laugh.
But the basics are treat it like it's loaded, never point it at anything you don't want to destroy. And don't ever put your finger on the trigger until you're absolutely ready to shoot.
Roger that.
But for now, I would actually say empty out the mag and practice with it around here. Just pointing and shooting, hearing the click.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of get used to it and feel in your hand, and then sooner rather than later, we can head on into the Umbra and we can fire off plenty of rounds there.
All right. Sounds like a lot of noise, she says. And I like noise.
And Cammie can't help but show off as she reaches into her bag and pulls out that SMG and strokes it lovingly.
Careful. Stroke it too much, you'll go blind.
Oh, true. And I wouldn't want this thing to go off prematurely.
No, that's one of those things you gotta savor.
So, just a quick general question between alpha and beta and absolutely no one else.
Mm-hmm.
So after the first time that you did anything physical that went all the way around, is it normal to get all clingy and cry?
She's giving her just like this look, like she's trying to figure out what the fuck she's talking about. Is that a euphemism for something? Are we in 6th grade? Are you talking about sex?
Maybe.
All right. Well, I don't have the sock puppets here, so let's go ahead and have this talk. She'll she kicks off her shoes and grabs her socks too. I guess I'm just gonna have to improvise.
Cammie's just gonna shake her head.
No. I'm ragabashing you. She takes the socks off her hand and puts them back on her feet and kicks her shoes back on. Who got clingy and crying? You or your friend?
She's just gonna give Bailey this look like, really, you have to ask?
I'm not gonna presume anything. Maybe you got a little rough with the little bitey smack around. Who the hell knows? Okay, look. I don't know if there is such a thing as normal when it comes to sex. If you start running across some sort of like Weaver tainted orderly sex protocol, run the fuck away. um, but it's an intimate thing, so you do what feels natural. And if you need to hold on and be a little bit soft and vulnerable afterwards, then cool. As long as the other person doesn't make you feel like shit for it afterwards, it's great. And if they do make you feel like shit afterwards, make them feel like shit right back.
What if you make yourself feel like shit?
Hmm. Ask yourself why it made you feel like shit. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes.
Did the other person do anything to make you feel dirty or unworthy in
No.
a bad way? um, all right. Did they seem put off by the hugs and the tears?
Not particularly.
All right then, kid. Learn to love yourself and just, do what you do. Enjoy the waterworks and everything else. And if you come across anybody who does give you shit, well, kick them. Kick them right in the hole.
Well, I don't plan on I don't see anyone else in my future in the short term and possibly the immediate long term.
Exclusivity.
No, just comfort. And honestly, I hang out with a scant few people outside you three.
That's right. Gotta respect the litany.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you like how you feel around this person, then press on and maybe you'll get to learn a bit about yourself as well.
Maybe. This doesn't strike me as a single person, so making my peace with that too.
I mean, if it's something you got to make your peace with, maybe it's not the situation for you.
I have no idea what the situation's supposed to be for me.
Well, I am absolutely ill-equipped to give you advice on this subject, she says, and after a pause and the realization, like I've got nothing in this arena.
Well, I mean, I at least appreciate the effort and the advice, and well, hopefully it'll be useful at some point. Not sure.
I think I missed something. What's going to be useful at some point?
Your advice.
Oh. uh,
Listen, if there's a round two, I'll let you know how it went and see if anything you told me was actually practical.
what? Kicking them in the hole if they make you feel bad?
If it comes to that, I'd much rather not because I'm pretty sure that's a domestic dispute of some kind.
Yeah, probably. And a quick way to lose a shoe.
How deep is that hole that you kicked?
We're talking about you.
She takes a couple of moments. Okay, that's a story. One I'd definitely like to hear.
Look, it's like this. When you discover that you like both sides, you've usually developed all of your skills for one before the other. You know, it doesn't really dawn on you that that you've like that your feelings are natural and perfectly normal and fine. Unfortunately, um she takes a moment. Wait, was your time with this girl your like first time?
I thought I was semi-clear on that.
Oh god, I thought it was just your first time with her. Oh, buddy. Okay, uh you know how people who play the violin like sound like shit when they first start?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is with sex. Nobody's the MVP the first time they step out on the court. Now, for somebody who paints in broad strokes, that means that you've got two potential camps that you're going to disappoint with your first time. And men, for the most part, don't notice bad sex. But well established lesbians certainly do. And this bitch had the fucking audacity to, instead of gently tutoring me in the ways of the finer aspects of, you know, the delicate sexualities of women, um, decided to deliver some rather rude running commentary. And then she got a little rough. And then I got a little rough. So, you know, I
And
was
and the shoe being lost?
maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but it's not like it got lost in the hole. But while kicking, I did lose the shoe, mostly because it wasn't tied because I was putting on my clothes. I'm not going to stick around for somebody to make me feel like shit.
That's fair.
But yeah, once you kick somebody between the legs, if your shoe flies, you just got to abandon it. You can't exactly like oh, pardon me. You got to hightail it out of there one shoe because you have sent a very specific message the moment you do that.
So kick him and run. Okay.
Always kick and run.
Cammie just shakes her head, pinches the bridge of her nose.
You're the one coming to me for advice.
Well, I know if I go to Niami, it's just going to be a brutal rebuking over and over and over again.
Why would she brutally rebuke you?
Because it's fun for her.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I mean, rebuke's kind of a harsh word for teasing, but
You'll find that in some things I deal in all or nothing terminology. It's a bad habit. So,
well, you'll find your peace eventually.
that's the hope, at least.
And then you'll be one of those Buddhist motherfuckers. God, I forget their names.
Stargazers?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that in front of Kailani.
I don't know who that is.
She's a stargazer. Lupus born.
What shouldn't I say in front of her? Buddhist motherfuckers?
Probably not.
Well, she wouldn't exactly be adhering to the tenets of nonviolence, would she?
Listen, Buddhism has certain rules, but it does not mean you have to accept wrongdoing.
Out of character, if you're about to educate me on Buddhism, you don't have to. In character, Bailey doesn't know shit.
That's as deep as Cammie's knowledge goes.
Okay. um, Bailey just kind of shrugs and laughs it off. I'll make sure if I run into this complete stranger that I would no way recognize immediately. Not to say anything about Buddhists.
I just think maybe not making a generalization, but whichever you prefer.
I mean, it would be a really weird conversation starter like, hey, I'd like to immediately piss you off. Why? I don't know.
Well, at least you're not one of those ragabashes that will use the idea of ragabashing to justify such things.
I mean, seems a little stupid.
Well, you'd be surprised.
That's stupid within the tribe. I think you'd be surprised at how little surprise I have.
Fair point. So, you know you don't have to stay down here, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's nice to have, like, a place that, isn't perpetually noisy sometimes. I mean, I come up, we hang, it's cool.
You have air conditioning.
I didn't have air conditioning growing up. But I see your point. It is getting warmer.
Besides, if I decide that I want company in the middle of the night, Mimi sleeps like a log, and Mimi comes up swinging.
Oh, goodness.
It'd be nice to have someone to, chat with, play a little Mario Kart, watch The Color Purple and weep my eyes out with.
Sounds like a ball. Yeah, I guess I can split up my time a little more in favor of the apartment as opposed to the Winnie here. Especially since we're going to be storing so many tools, it's gonna feel a little snug.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start working on that as a group here soon, instead of just one of us doing it at a time.
Maybe we can eventually put wheels on the damn thing.
Maybe. I would definitely like to get the rust off that frame first.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
have I told you how much fun it has been recently to ride around the city?
No. You have not.
Well, let me tell you, I drove around on my bike not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
going at about 120, diving in and out of traffic. It was amazing.
Having a bike seems like it would be fun. Although I think I want something big. She looks
Well,
out at the General Lee.
all right, that's it. Tomorrow you're going with me, and we're gonna go driving out to Long Island.
Sounds sounds fun.
You got a good grip, right?
Haven't had any complaints yet.
Good to know. And she'll stand up and grab one of the last two bottles. And as she goes to open the door, she'll look back at Bailey
Mm-hmm.
and see if Bailey is going to come up with her or not.
Yeah, she'll follow along. She'll grab the other cider, finish off the bottle she's drinking, put it in the recycling bin that she has. I'm not gonna fucking litter.
And as they walk out, Cammie will very tentatively put an arm out and just put it over Bailey's shoulder and just tell herself, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And then if there's nothing else, you want to call the scene there?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, then. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you again next time on Rage Across New York.